Coming to you from the Oddball Podcast Studios in New York City. My name is Vin Forte, and you're listening to Oddball with Vin Forte. Go follow the show over on YouTube, youtube.com/@Oddball Podcast. If you want to listen to the more traditional way, go over on Apple, Spotify, I don't know what else, Google Play, Deezer, iHeartRadio, whatever. I'm sure it's in all those places. You know where to get your podcast from because you're listening to one right now, so go ahead and do that. And go follow the social accounts as well. Twitter/X @Oddball Podcast, and of course the Instagram @Oddball_pod. So that's out of the way. Big show today. Like I always say, I don't like to come alone. Sometimes it just happens, but luckily for you, this is not one of those weeks because I have brought with me this man. There you go.
Hello.
Winston. From the Show Your Work podcast.
Hey,
listen,
man.
What is going on? You guys just got off doing it. If people haven't checked out Show Your Work,
yes,
go check out the past few weeks because you've done. How's the people do March Madness brackets? You did something a little different, which is you did the blog era bracket. Tell people what that was.
Yes. From if you are a certain type of person of a certain type of age, which you are, if you are a listener to one of my favorite sports podcasts, Oddball.
On the end of it. Yeah.
I mean, with Vin Forte, the mighty one. Shout out to Vin first and foremost.
Thank you.
But
I'm right here. Yeah.
Yes, sir. But as far as the bracket, it was from the quote unquote internet age, the DSL broadband era, up until the high speed era of the internet from around 2005 to 2012, with artists such as Gucci Mane, OJ the Juice Mane, that was involved in the selections. Nipsey Hussle, Drake, Kendrick Lamar, Rick Ross, J. Cole, Fresh Montana, Jim Jones. It was a bracket of, you could put a March Madness bracket together with how in the video games they have the Ultimate Team, My Player type of cards, where it's a certain year. So it's the best year of the growth and development of most of these illustrious artists, putting them against one another. And, we came to a winner. We had 4 full brackets. We had shout out to the whole squad. Shout out to DJ Larry. Shout out to Who Is Original. Go New York. Go New York. Go. Shout out to Trey. Better luck next year for the Grizzlies. But we all came together. They went crazy with the graphics, and make sure you tap into
the graphics are spectacular. I don't know how you guys do it, but the graphics are insane.
Shout out to Larry and Nelson, man. Those guys are wizards, man.
Yeah.
Make sure you check them with us at Show Your Work Network on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, Amazon, and Twitch as well. And yes, sir.
Those places do it
everywhere. I just feel so excited just to be amongst great company, of great sports luminaries. Rob Parker, me.
I know it's like some of the people that I've been able to finagle on here. It's like Alan Hahn, Rob Parker, Peter Rosenberg, Winston from Show Your Work, you're right in there.
Big unions,
The union is strong. The mana is flowing in the union. But we actually have to we should probably get to some actual sports talk. So we're just gonna jump right into it. Caitlin Clark this past week, they did the WNBA draft, which we'll get to that proper in a moment. But obviously she went to the Indiana Fever. No one's surprised, no big surprise there. But then something happened in the press conference that a lot of people have been talking about that I think is kind of a canary in the coal mine. Like, this is something that happened that I think stuff like this is maybe going to happen a little more this season with the with the higher exposure of the WNBA. Yes. But that it's sort of like how like the sun is like, oh well, like sunlight is the best disinfectant. Like, this is going to be the year that a lot of this finally like gets taken. The trash is going to get taken out because this creep was asking her a question about, I guess, when she does her game, she does like a heart sign with her hands to her family after a win. And this guy, instead of asking a question first, just does the heart sign thing, which is creepy enough that you're leading with that. And then she that should not be like, would you do that to a male player? Like if Damian Lillard was about to give a press conference about joining Milwaukee. Yeah, exactly. Would you tap your arm and go game time and time for me to give you my heart? Yeah, like time to get my love, Dame. Like, you would not do that. So he does, but this guy does that, and then she's kind of confused. And it's like, oh yeah, that's the thing. I do that to my family, after games and stuff. And the guy's, I'm paraphrasing, but he says something to the effect of like, well, why don't you start doing that to me? Like, we'll have a good relationship. And it's like, come on, man.
What?
Yeah, like what are we doing here? Like, I've seen people ask dumb questions in press conferences, like try and be funny, try and make it about themselves or whatever. Which that's rule number one that you should never do in a especially this type of an interview where it's like you've got 5 seconds to ask a question and you're just on the beat trying to get an answer. Do not make it about yourself. It will never go well. And this guy just put his foot right in his mouth and he wrote a whole article after the fact where he was like, I know now that what I did was wrong. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. And it's like, I don't know if he had to go that far, but like he definitely should never do that again.
No. Like, he definitely felt how cringe that was, amongst other things, but also this is the most important athlete in the state of Indiana currently residing. Why are you doing this to the most prolific athlete in your whole entire, to the biggest star in your whole state? Why are you trying to make this grandiose point of just being this personality of being just weird?
Well, that's sort of been a theme in the run-up to this next WNBA season, is that a lot of people are kind of making it weird, and that segues right into, we'll talk about this in a bigger point, that the WNBA draft, the ratings are up 300%, which is insane. I mean, now look, the WNBA draft, traditionally has not gotten huge ratings, so you go, well, Vin, what's 300%? That accounts for like what they get, like 2.5 million eyeballs. Like, that's for the WNBA draft, especially, like, that's big.
And so all
in prime time. So like, people are being weird about a couple things. The first thing they're being weird about, besides that guy being weird, is sort of predicting the downfall of the WNBA, where a lot of people are going, well, what. It's great that Caitlin Clark is coming in, Angel Reese is coming in, and Paige Beckers and all these other people. But, when are we going to stop talking about the WNBA? When's this going to come back down to earth? And it's like, it might, but at the end of the day, like, don't you want this to succeed? Like, I'm not asking people to be like rah-rah cheerleaders for the WNBA all of a sudden, but isn't the possibility there that, hey, if you've got named people now coming into the league where you didn't have named people coming into the league before necessarily, that's going to bring the ratings up? The fact that they're moving games to bigger arenas already, and that at least locally, I can't speak for the rest of the country, but here in New York, Liberty games this season are going to be played on the local, like, Fox affiliate, which they were never before. So, like, that's going to bring more eyeballs, like seeing a WNBA game in prime time on the local station. So there are all these moves being made to actually get the league more exposure as the interest sort of rises alongside it. So like I don't know where the like people are just being a little snippy cynics out there.
Yeah, like they are talking just outside of sports talk, just getting a little bit gossipy with uh if we're being honest, women's basketball as a whole, because it became um in the realm of just pop culture and regular everyday American culture in what, like the past 5 years. Like I mean, not on like a major level where
Yeah, it's
you
only been the
have,
past couple of years that it's
yeah.
really like been having a moment.
And like if you are a real fan of hoop, you watch any type of basketball, no matter if it's um the whole above the rim 10 foot that BS that people like to pull.
Oh yeah.
I think overall with the WNBA, they just need to, like you said, they need to fortify where they plan on going in the next decade, because whatever happens to Caitlin Clark, like they need to be in a stable position to where they can offer a player $1 million contract by the time Juju Watkins leave college. Like
Well,
that
that's
gonna,
yeah.
yeah, like that's gonna tell me how far they are in solidifying with that and roster spots. You got lottery players every year that they don't know if they have a job season by season.
Yeah, and that's the other thing that I wanted to get to is when people saw the money that Caitlin Clark was going to be making and being like, "That's it." Like my uncle, who's a plumber, makes more than that, like per year. I think like it's something around like 75,000 per year.
Mm-hmm.
And look, she's going to be making way more. And I think she's already got like a $20 million Nike deal on the
Oh yeah, she
horizon.
got a
So don't.
snake
So,
coming out.
yeah,
So
so like nobody's crying for Caitlin Clark at the end of the day, but like you said, the one of the hard truths about the league is that it is subsidized by the NBA, and could the NBA theoretically come out at any given time and go, you know what, we're going to start paying these women more money because we feel out of the goodness of our hearts that they deserve it? Yeah, they could technically do that, but they're not going to because they're going to go, how much money are we making? Traditionally, WNBA
mm-hmm.
games outside the past couple of years have not been as popular. Uh, Frankly, there's an honest conversation that I think needs to be had about reaching out more to women to go actually see women's basketball games, because
Mm-hmm.
while it is amazing that you and me and all of our friends who are all male uh now talk about the WNBA as if it's basically on the same level as the NBA. Like there's no, like you don't hear people anymore talking about like, oh well, yeah, you watch the WNBA, yeah, what's going on there? I don't know any of the names or whether like no, people who watch basketball in general in
Mm-hmm. Oh
2024
yeah.
are up on at least the named people in the WNBA, which was not the case before. So I think while there can be some cynicism at play with, okay, they're only making X amount of money now, and you could make the case that they shouldn't be making more money. I wouldn't make that case, but you could make that case because of attendance figures and all that. What, again, I go back to the question: what is the problem? And here's why I get angry at these sports media people. What's the problem with at least acknowledging that this could be the turning point? Some people are acting like, oh well, once this Caitlin Clark fad dies down, we're all going to forget about the WNBA again. It's like I don't think we are. I think like this is between the ratings last year,
Yeah, man.
and then all the talent that's coming in this year and the attention that they're bringing to the game. Like, is it going to happen overnight? No, it's probably not going to happen. Nothing happens overnight. But I think that this could be a huge moment where, look, 5 years from now, we could be talking about when they, renegotiate their players agreement, that, bigger TV revenue is going to be on the table. And that's going to
Yeah,
lead to bigger contracts.
yeah. Because even with like regardless of how people feel about Caitlin Clark, some of that is just archaic and dumb because even from the racial standpoint, women's hoops, even from when I was in high school and like girls I was in class with when they was on the start of the team, like there was either it was just the best player. It was like sometimes it'll be a black girl and a white girl. So some certain schools would be a team full of white girls and they'll blow you out by 30. So that
well, to just touch on that really quick, that's another thing is that the problem people are putting that at the feet of Caitlin Clark a little bit. And that to me is not fair. She's just going out there and doing what she's doing. Like she's not trying to take any money. Yeah, like she's not trying to take any money away from Angel Reese or Asia Wilson. Like now the people who could be at blame, I think should be at blame a little bit, are first and foremost the league for not promoting their stars well enough. And having merchandise
or
the WNBA because they up until now I don't think they've done well with merchandising and really capitalizing on their players. Because I'm someone who I love
fanatic shirts, like regular stuff.
Yeah, like I love me some good merchandise. And last year, like even when the Liberty were in the finals, it was like where are we made the playoff hats and where are the finals t-shirts? Like they didn't have any of that. Like they had one for Stewie winning MVP, but like that was as special as it got. Like they really didn't have anything like you see with the MLB and the NBA where like every month there's these new hat drops and new hoodies and collaborations. Like that's the stuff that's gonna resonate, and that's the stuff that needs to be out there.
I mean, even from the simple level of associating like female artists with the WNBA, like even in hip hop, all the female rappers that's doing a thing, or in pop, or even in reggaeton. You know what I'm saying? You can if that's in the budget or whatever the case, you got Serena Williams talking about it's not a bad idea to look into owning a WNBA team, but a lot of it is the WNBA. They have to figure out who they're marketing this to. Like, are they marketing it to people who watch basketball, period? Or are you marketing this to like young girls? Are you marketing this to all women? Are you marketing this to people within the community? Like, I know it's a lot of different avenues to attack, but what is the main view to get revenue back for people just to enjoy the game and to go out and see the games? Because we don't have this thing in North Carolina. So I would have to go to DC or I would have to go to Atlanta.
Well, yeah, I think it goes back to the marketing because I think they keep missing a golden opportunity. Asia Wilson, a lot of people said, well, she should have been the MVP last year instead of Stewie. You can contend that all you want. The fact of the matter is Asia Wilson came back with the Aces and then became finals MVP. Yeah. And it just felt like, okay, great that happened to her. It's a great story that she came back and did that. But then where was the capitalization on that? Like, where was the league putting out, mini docs on YouTube about, her life story? All the stuff that the NBA does where they chronicle their history.
I don't know nothing about Asia Wilson, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what she like to eat. Does she have a dog? Who are her parents?
Does she do stuff in the community? Like, this is stuff that people would probably like to know.
I just know that she went to South Carolina and she's in Las Vegas and she's on the bag of chips. That's all I know.
Yeah.
That's all I know. Yeah, like they had to get into the human interest. It's just not even for introductory, but you had to get, like, if you want to put out singular stars, you have to give the narrative to be behind and to cheer for. And,
you just got to give people a reason.
Yeah, exactly. But far as the overall draft, I like what Chicago did. Hopefully that turns out to be something within the next 2-3 years. With Risa Cardoza. I like Cardoza a lot. Cardoza got that good big man game. She has great pivot work, soft hands. Angel Reese as a player, hopefully in her reality is being more than a hustle player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think there was a lot of hype on her last year. I think the hype kind of died, and she was out for a couple games this season, but I think the hype died down just a little bit this season. I hope that she can show everyone in her rookie year in the WNBA, like why there was all the hype on her to begin with.
Most definitely.
Yeah, so WNBA. Again, like not everything has to be cynical. Like I see all these guys in the media again. Like one of the headlines in a video the other day I saw was like, "Oh, when are we gonna stop talking about Caitlin Clark?" It's like, well, first off, you don't have to. Like, it's your own show. You don't have to create a topic about how about how you don't want to talk about Caitlin Clark. You could just not talk about her. Like that's that's my thing.
There's other players. There's other players in college everywhere. You got Buchers next year is going to be her breakout year as a public figure. So we will definitely see as this is probably the most important decade in women's basketball.
This is draft. So is this draft basically like the '96 draft?
It's up there. It's up there because you got a lot of dope players that you can get behind and build behind as a league. You don't really hear about that many problems in far as extracurricular in the WNBA. As long as the league they continue to elevate, there's no bad publicity with travel and charter flights and stuff like that. And yeah, man, these guys just keep going and keep elevating.
Yeah. Now, speaking of elevating basketball players, Team USA was selected this past week. We got, in no particular order, Bam Adebayo, Devin Booker, Steph Curry. First time, I was kind of shocked about that. Like it is true, it's his first time, but I was kind of shocked. The first appearance of Steph Curry on an Olympic team. Anthony Davis, Kevin Durant, Anthony Edwards, Joel Embiid, Tyrese Halliburton, Drew Holiday, LeBron James coming back on the team, Kawhi Leonard, and Jason Tatum. How do you feel about this 2024 Olympic men's national team? And do you think they left anyone off?
With the Steph Curry thing, that is the attribute of being a championship player. Because pretty much every time he came up, he was pretty tired from winning chip, or at least taking it all the way with the likes of LeBron James. In terms of the roster, it is I will say this though. This is gonna be the last Olympic where they're gonna be the favorite. This is my hot take. This is gonna be the last Olympic where they're gonna be the favorite because they front loaded in with Joel Embiid becoming a U.S. citizen. That kind of takes them over the top potentially. But I also have a feeling that three of these guys will not be on. They will not be healthy enough to play the Olympics. We got Anthony Edwards on it? Yeah, Anthony Edwards on there. Anthony Edwards is on it.
He had to be there because he was the breakout star in the FIBA.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I'm the Steve Kerr foundation of the Steve Kerr, Grant Hill, USA basketball, I'm not really a fan of. Kyrie Irving is right. They should be trying players out because no matter what's going on, you should be trying players out. Because Jalen Brunson, obviously, barring him going into a deep run or anything like that, like Tyrese Halliburton, he's hobbled. Joel Embiid's hobbled. Kawhi Leonard, I don't even know why he even accepted that jersey. Damn well. I try not to curse your show, but that's only four
that's fine. Like, so you think that that they may end up calling a guy like Kyrie in the last weeks because they'd be like, oh man, Joel's hurt. We got to bring someone else in.
Because the Sixers might ask Joel Embiid, you might have to wait, bro. You might have to wait till 2028. Like if he's barely making it through game 1 of round 1, it's going to be scary hours. But you got LeBron, Anthony Edwards. Hopefully, Anthony Edwards soak in as much game as he needs to over the summer, hanging out with the guys, and hopefully him and Durant, they can get their one-on-one game on often and continue to grow.
Well, that's going to be the difference this time, because remember the last Olympics, which doesn't seem that long ago because we had the extra year due to COVID.
Yeah.
So the 2020 Olympics were in the 2021 Olympics. Mm-hmm. And that one, because of the rejiggering of the schedule with the NBA season, people were coming off, like especially guys like, I think Anthony Davis was on that team still. Like he was a guy who had just gotten off basically winning a championship, and then what was it, like a week later? It was something insane. Yeah, no, it was the Bucks. It was the Bucks, right? Because like people.
Yeah, that was with Drew Holiday. Yeah, that was.
Yeah, with Drew Holiday, because people were wondering if Drew Holiday was going to still be on the team, because he would have to basically run right from the finals.
Yeah.
And he did that, right? He missed like a couple of practices.
Yep, yeah. Now he just missed the opening practices. He showed up like the practice before the first
the first games. Yeah, and then we like lost one of those games, and then came and people were like, oh man, like what's going on? Like, is Pop losing it? It's like, well, first off, yeah, he is kind of losing it, but that's beside the point. Like,
exactly. But how do you feel about the Team USA foundation of Steve Kerr and not necessarily trying players out and just what they have going on over there in the post-Coach K era?
I'm with you. I wish they would try guys out. I'd have to imagine the reason they don't is because they've crunched the numbers and they've been like, listen, the guys we want on the team, they're going to be on the team anyway. Like, you're telling me Steph Curry and LeBron James are not going to make Team USA. Now, that's all well and good, and certainly you can have people like that on your team where like, come on, like they don't even need to try out. Like, we're just going to ask them. But you should go through the rigmarole because, like you said with a Jalen Brunson, maybe Jalen Brunson was on the list, and you were like, well, given their performance throughout the season, we watched video. It's like, watching video is one thing, but how do these guys actually play with each other? Yeah. If you had them try out and you see, Jalen Brunson's a way better point guard than Drew Holiday, you'd be like, oh my God, like, well, I guess we got to put Brunson instead of Drew Holiday. You know what I mean? Like, you would have to make some of those calls. And I don't think they made any of those calls this time. I think they just looked at people's resumes and were like, in the case of Drew Holiday, like, oh, he's got a championship pedigree. He's been on Team USA before. Like, yeah, let's throw him on there. Tyrese Halliburton, he had a breakout year. Like, let's throw him in there. Joel Embiid, no brainer. Let's get him in. But again, even a Joel Embiid, like if they did tryouts and they looked at Joel Embiid and were maybe like, you know what, this guy's he's kind of borked. Like, he's kind of, I don't know if we could trust him, playing a whole series against top talent from the rest of the world. Like that may be a thought they have.
Yeah. I mean, But these are the thoughts you would have if you're running an actual program. I think, and they need to figure this out because 2028, I think it's supposed to be in LA.
Right. It's right. Is that the Olympics where it's like, am I thinking of that or
I think it's the World Cup. You probably thinking of where it's the.
I'm thinking of the World Cup where it's the entire the whole North America. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, but with the Olympics next year, you got John Morant barring. First of all, John Morant barring injury this year, somebody would have got bumped off.
Right.
But you got you got the continuance of Jalen Brunson, you got the question mark of Zion.
Mm-hmm.
You got is Chet from the US?
Chet Holmgren? I'm gonna say yes.
Because he went to Gonzaga. You never know. Because Gonzaga got a bunch of green card players on their roster. Shout out to Gonzaga. But you got him, you got Cooper Flag. Cooper Flag is going to be in like a year 3, year 4 as a pro player, possibly. So, they have to figure it out because in Canada got some hoopers. France got the big men. And the Slovenian, Czechoslovakian, that whole area, they get more and more busy.
Well, and also this is probably going to be the last time you have guys like Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, LeBron James. Like what is LeBron going to be here again? 4 or 5 years from now? I don't think so.
No,
he may still be in the league at that point. Who the hell knows? But I don't think he's signing up for USA Basketball anymore. And then you've got people who seem like they may be one and dones, like Kawhi Leonard. I can't really see Kawhi Leonard, being on another USA Basketball team, even though he'll probably be eligible. I don't know. So this roster is gonna look completely different. And look, every USA roster looks completely different. But there are we have gotten into a groove of, for a couple, you've got Kevin Durant leading the charge. For a couple before then, you had Carmelo Anthony and LeBron and Kobe, and we're slowly losing that continuity. And the next round of Olympics, I think, is going to be the first one where it looks significantly different than it does right now.
Games. A lot of close games is coming up in LA.
Yeah, people take USA for granted.
Yeah, Anthony Edwards and John Morant, they have to put in sweat equity to beat Dylan Brooks.
Yeah, see that's it. See, that's how you also know that the USA basketball team, that it means something. Because there are people out there who try and poo-poo USA basketball and go, oh well, it shouldn't count. How much should it really count towards someone's legacy? Like a Carmelo Anthony, doesn't have any rings, but he's got all those great performances in USA basketball that people hype up his resume with. And it's I think a lot of the poo-pooing is because we take for granted that we're going to win every year. Wait till there's a year where we don't win. We don't win this year for some reason. There's going to be hell to pay. It's going to be bad times for everyone on that team.
I would not be surprised if this team gets one loss during this whole Olympic campaign. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody gives them a loss while they have a full roster. I would not be surprised.
No, I would not be. I would not be surprised either.
Especially let them play Canada and that game get chippy like how FIBA games normally get.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be something. And then I think even though it might not mean much, but a body's a body. You got Zach Edey, he's Canadian. So with that FIBA style basketball at 7'4", 7'5", he can move around and he can he can contribute on the high post. For some
reason, I thought you were going to say Zach Randolph. I was like, what? They're going to pull out Zach Randolph?
That about to be crazy. That would be crazy. But yeah, Team
I know
USA.
we need big guy. I know we need big guys in the post, but like, we gotta go that far.
But soon come Paris. Paris is going to be interesting one.
Absolutely, and that's going to be very interesting. And I think we got something interesting to close out the show today. I don't know if you've noticed, Dr. J. I don't know if you follow Dr. J. Julius Erving on Instagram or on his social media accounts.
No, but salute.
Salute to Dr. J for getting money, because he has like I don't know. Tell me how you feel about the sponsored content he does. So like this I saw the other day. And he's advertising something called Freedom Pop, America's #1 cell service for seniors. And I'm like, okay. Like that's normal. Like I guess, he's an older man. But like these next two, it reminded me that I have these next two that I keep in a draft on my phone because they're just so ridiculous. And I think he might have deleted them from Instagram, so I'm glad I took them.
Here we go.
This is him advertising, I guess, getting some money from the Bisco. And it's just him in his car, but he just like threw snacks around.
Yo, it looked like Dr. J. He got munchies and he's off the za. The doctor
he's got the Zaza. He's Dr. Za.
He got the what's that? Peanut butter Ritz, the cheese Ritz.
He's got the Nutty Buddies and
Oreo cakes. He got the puffy Oreos. You already know he's about to give it up. He was about to be in the couch.
But they're so specifically placed. Like the idea that he's driving his car with two of them in the cup holder and a thing of Ritz just sitting on top of his like middle storage compartment. And he's just driving around town waiting to eat his snacks. Like I love it.
You never know. You gotta be ready. You gotta have it right in the holster.
But my question is, do you think Nabisco or whoever like went to him and was like, okay, do something creative. Like here, we're gonna ship you a box of food. Do something creative. Put up a couple photos. Eat the product or whatever. And he was like, yeah, whatever. And he just like grabbed a handful. He was like on his way somewhere already. He just threw it in his car.
Yeah, like I want to know who is Dr. J's grandnephew or grand niece. Who is the nearest 25-year-old in his life? Because somebody has to be in charge of this aspect of his life. He has to hand this over.
But even better than this
conservatorship.
Even better than this one. My favorite Dr. J sponsored content is around the time of the All-Star game a couple of years ago. He was advertising for DoorDash, and it could not look more like a "you up" text.
You got that look. I got bread, Greek, milk.
Look at that face. Look at that.
You already know he was up to some BS. He was up. He got the first of all, what are you doing? You got 2 grapes. The grapes with you got cotton candy grapes and the seedless grapes. You got Welch's grape with no cap. Peanut butter, no cap. The cap is going on both of the peanut butter. You got 3 slices of bread.
He's got the milk. He's got 3 slices of bread.
Not even you can't even make 2 sandwiches. Or
is he making a peanut butter club sandwich? Like what's he doing? With that?
He about to make a double-decker PB&J with milk.
Well, I think that was, if I recall, that was the post. It was like it was my peanut butter and jam sandwich. Like jam into the All-Star weekend. So I think his thing was like, hey, don't make a regular peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Listen to the doctor and make like a triple-decker PB&J sandwich.
The look at Dr. J's eyes, yo. Shout out to JaVale McGee's moms. That's crazy. That's crazy.
He's thinking of her right there. That's the look. Yeah, that's the text he sent to JaVale McGee. He sent that to Pam McGee.
Never forget. I would never forget that night.
Look at him.
Yeah. That's
could you smile a little bit? Could you Make the sandwich, maybe. Like
that's the face. Our fathers idolized that face. That's the face of a real man. 1974, 75, 76.
He's like, I'll do your sponsored content, but I'm not. You put the stuff on the table.
Yeah, I ain't touching nothing. I'm gonna just take this selfie right here.
I'll just take the photo. You put out the spread. I'll take the photo. I know how to work my phone.
And look, the milk is right at the like the milk is.
That milk is gonna tip over.
Yeah, like the milk is just enough for you just to put your lips on the cup. Like sometimes like it might overflow when you pick it up off of the table. That's enough milk in there that is gonna stay still.
So shout out to Dr. J,
the legend,
the legend for real. Go eat after you're done listening. Go rock a PB&J sandwich, eat some Oreo Kicksters, or if you're a little older, sign up for Freedom Pop. America's #1 self-service for seniors. He's one call away. Maybe he'll be on the other end of the call. Maybe if you call, that's him picking up a call from Freedom Pop right now.
Whenever you call me, I'll be there. That's the commercial.
Oh, that's the commercial. Like he's wearing that shirt. He's at a fun run somewhere. He gets a phone call.
Tucked in shirt.
About to do a fun run with his grandkids.
Wow.
That's what that is.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Julius Erving, the legend.
But
oh man.
Winston.
Yes.
I think we're out of time.
Man. Well,
where can people find you?
Hey man, make sure you find me talking my personal madness at King Murphy Media on Twitter. I'm also a videographer, a event organizer and such. Catch my creative flow and my creative process at King Murphy Media on IG, but as a content creator and podcaster and streamer, just like the mightiest one, Vin Forte, the mighty Vin at Oddball. You can catch me and all my crew shenanigans at SYWNET. Whether you know what I mean? Twitch, Apple, Spotify, Twitter, wherever you are, wherever your podcasts are from. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you're tapping in, and shout out to all the supporters. I think we've crossed 100 subs on YouTube. Sure. I mean, and so many dope things to come in terms of accomplishments. Make sure you check it out. Our March Madness bracket. And once again, Vin, thank you. Thank you for providing us with great sports talk, unbiased sports talk weekly, and also Wrestle Talk weekly. I just want to personally salute you on your platform for doing that for real. Keep making it do what it do, brother.
Well, then I will not play this. Well, I'll play it.
You're a real crumb bum. You're a real crumb bum.
There we go.
Yes.
I always forget I have a soundboard, and I really should update a lot of those. But yeah, show your work, network, podcast, the Discord.
Yes.
Go do all of it. Go look it up. You'll find it. The blog era, March Madness, all the shenanigans from the past month.
So many jokes.
They're there. So many jokes. So many 10 deep outfits.
I mean, Awful Dodger.
Yeah. So many OJ the Juice Man hijinks. So go check that out. And like the man said, if you want to follow this podcast, youtube.com/@oddball-podcast. It's the number one way to help support the show. Also, Twitter @oddball-podcast. Instagram, oddball_pod. And wherever you get your podcast from, Apple, Spotify. I always want to say Stitcher, but Stitcher closed down last year. They went bankrupt. Don't go to Stitcher. I don't know what you're gonna. If you go there, I can't be held responsible. If
I don't know what's on there.
Yeah, I don't know what goes on there anymore. But yeah, go do all the things. Go follow, show your work. And with all that said, I'll see you back here, same time, same place. You've been listening to Oddball. Vin Forte. My name is Vin Forte.
We'll see Shuffle.